Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So it feels like deja vu here as we have to talk about another Manchester United defeat and another pathetic Manchester United performance after we saw a fantastic turnaround in the second half on Boxing Day against Aston Villa at Old Trafford. A performance which left, in that 45 minutes, left Manchester United fans with a lot of optimism moving forward. But yet again, we've seen that when Manchester United seem to get something right round the corner, there's something to bite us on the arse. And that performance today was absolutely toothless, spineless. And look, the manager has to take a lot of the responsibility for that defeat because there were a few decisions which he's made. Now, I'm going to criticise some of the players in this video, but he's making the decisions. And ultimately, we've got a lot of body of evidence for some of these players being absolutely useless. Scott McTominay being one of them, Anthony being another one of them. And look, they're not the only ones that didn't perform today. But they're just so poor, man. And the game changed for me when Kobbie Mainoo went off and Scott McTominay came on. Both of Nottingham Forest goals. You look at that. There's acres of space in front of the defence. Acres of space in front of Johnny Evans and Raphael Varane, who are picking up their men. Guess who isn't picking up anyone? Scott McTominay. He's in the picture both times. Doubling up on one man that doesn't need to be doubled up on for one of the goals. And another of the goals just absolutely chasing shadows. This guy's a sub, by the way. His couple of goals against Brentford that he scored has meant that we've been stuck with him in the team ever since. And I don't know what the manager sees in him. Unless you're going to use him as a late sub, to crash the box and try and score a few goals, which is what he did against Brentford, then don't use him. And to bring him on for someone like Kobbie Mainoo, now I'm hoping there's an injury or something, but even then, why are you bringing him on for Kobbie Mainoo? Why are you bringing him on? Kobbie Mainoo every time protects that area of the pitch. Every single time. I don't think either of them goals happen with Kobbie Mainoo on the pitch. Why are we playing Scott McTominay again? Why? It doesn't make sense, and the half-time substitute doesn't make sense. And then today, I know Rasmus Højlund's injured or ill or whatever after getting his goal against Aston Villa. Seemingly typical for Manchester United's luck with injuries and illness this season. But then we pick Anthony on the right. The guy's useless. I'm sorry to say, it feels so bad to be so harsh against a Manchester United player. I obviously want him to do well. I want him to succeed. Last season I defended him a little bit because he scored a lot of goals and he scored some goals in some big games, and you kind of go, look, it's his first season, give him some time. But boy, oh boy, the guy's so crap. His pass completion will probably be around 80-90% or something like that. But that's because he goes sideways or backwards half of the time. Why are we starting? AdamMcKola's on the bench. He come on for 5-10 minutes and did more than any. And it's like, we've seen Hannibal do well at various points in the season. We've seen Amrabat do well at various points in the season. We've seen all these different. But somehow we end up with Scott McTominay back in the team. How? It doesn't make sense. And today, look, I defend Marcus Rashford a lot because there's enough body of work to suggest that Marcus Rashford's a very, very good footballer. 4 out of the last 5 seasons, he scores over 20 goals plus. 30 goals for him last season. His best season ever for Erik ten Hag. But when he plays through the middle sometimes and he's out of position, we know his best position's left forward. And he scored a fantastic goal today, but sometimes his body language and things, it just leaves a lot to be desired. Not challenging for balls and stuff like that. And that's not what you want to see from one of your talisman. That can spread throughout the team. His goal was fantastic today, by the way. And I know Bruno Fernandes makes mistakes sometimes, but at least he shows the right attitude in terms of running and, doing the basics. We need that from Marcus Rashford as well, because his influence could be massive on the rest of the team. You have young lads like Amad Diallo and Alejandro Garnacho playing. You've got to present an example for these guys. And I know, as I said, I defend Marcus Rashford an awful lot because of the body of work that we have. I think he's a fantastic footballer. He's one of my favourite at Manchester United. But we've got to see better than that from you sometimes, because what is going on there? Come on, brother. You're better than that at times. Just watching the ball go over your head and that. Come on, Marcus. As we've seen with the goal, when you get into those positions and we create chances, which we don't do enough, and that's where I feel Højlund's been let down this season, Rashford's been let down. Whoever plays up front has been let down this season, because we've got wingers like Anthony, midfielders like McTominay trying to create chances for them. But you've got to do the basics right. And I feel at times he didn't do that today. Let himself down a little bit. But mainly, The decision to start Anthony and to bring Scott McTominay on have cost Manchester United this game, and the manager has to take the flak for that. We're losing far too many games. Now, just because I'm criticising the manager doesn't mean I want to see him gone. But if this keeps happening every other week, he's going to be looking at his P45 very soon, because you can't lose games week in, week out, especially with, you know, people that have spent a lot of money to purchase a big percentage of the club and take footballing control on, to be sitting there in the stands and watching this. It's pathetic from Manchester United. Nottingham Forest have beat us far too easily, and this isn't a criticism of Nottingham Forest or West Ham, but they both beat us without getting out of second gear. And that is pathetic from Manchester United. We've got to be better. There's no point showing it in halves against Aston Villa and then turning up in the next game and not doing it. And I just feel the manager's not... Like, when I saw the team today, I saw a rumour before the game started that Ahmad was starting, and I looked at it and I thought, is the manager finally seeing some sense here? But then we see Anthony start and McTominay come off the bench. And it sounds like I'm digging these, but they're not good. They're not good. And that shows you as well where our recruitment's at. The fact that we got offered 30 million for McTominay. We didn't take it. Anthony, we could have got him for 30, 40 million at the start of the transfer window. We dilly-dallied around when there were other I probably can't name them right now, but I bet you there were better wingers on the market at the time, or could have been made on the market at the time. And then we go in with 85 million. I just couldn't believe their luck. It says a lot about our recruitment. It says a lot about everything else that's wrong with the club at the moment. But the manager, you're making some strange decisions. The other day against Aston Villa, you changed the game fantastically well in the second half. Today, you've cost us the game. Today, it cost us the game. It's as simple as that. It's just stressful, innit? Watching Man United these days. Feels like there's no let up at all. And I've been feeling good these last few days. You know, Man United beat Aston Villa. We go over to Dublin. We have a great time with Stretford Paddock, Wes Brown, and all the people that came out to the show. Thank you very much for coming out. I absolutely adore every single one of you. But I've been feeling good, and then we watch that and it just brings you right back down to earth, doesn't it? Pathetic performance from Manchester United. Top four, no chance. Who cares about any of that? We just need to be able to string two good performances together, and Manchester United cannot do that. Cannot do that. And on that note, I'm going to pour myself a big old drink. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in a bit.